Hey Twitter friends and YouTube friends, this video will be on the book of Ecclesiastes. I felt like God wanted me to read this book today. So I'm just going to read the verses that stood out to me when I was reading it this morning. All right, at the beginning it starts off with the words of the preacher. And I think that's interesting. So I guess Solomon considered himself to be a preacher, which is really interesting considering he had, I don't know, like 1,000 wives or something. So that's different. He says, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. What profit has a man from all his labor in which he toils under the sun? That is a good question. We go to work, we pay our bills, and then at the end of all of it, I'm sure that all of us wonder, what's the point? Is my work worth it? Is anything that I do worth it? What's the point of my life? I guess that's why I started writing my blog and making these videos, because I want to have like a lasting effect on the world. And anything you put on YouTube is going to be there for forever, unless they ever shut down YouTube. But hopefully not. But anyways, yeah, it's just like, you live your life and you're just like, am I making a difference? Does my life matter? Am I making any effect on the world around me? Why do I exist? Why was I born? I think those are the deepest questions that everybody asks themselves, or they're running away from, and they don't face it, that they have those questions, and they hide behind busyness, or addictions like smoking or drinking. I was watching this really good sermon yesterday with Jimmy Evans on the Hurt Pocket series, and it was the sermon titled Pain, and it really hit me. I was like, wow, that's really deep. But yeah, like we hide, to cope with pain. Like people hide through addictions, or they hide through busyness, he was saying, or they deal with pain by just staying bitter and being unforgiving toward other people for years and years. So anyways, but as far as busyness, I think this totally applies. That he just says, what profit has a man from all his labor in which he toils under the sun? A lot of us are like running and getting nowhere. Like that one song, I'm in a hurry to get things done. Oh, I rush until life's no fun. All I really want to do is live and die, but I'm in a hurry and don't know why. So it's like that, like, why are we in a hurry? What are we in a hurry to do? Why, when we're driven, why do we feel so driven, Like, we really need to learn to just rest in God's love and rest in God providing for us. Like, there is a time to work, but there is a time to rest. And for me, that time is now. I was working for the last 3 months in 2 gas stations, but now I'm taking a time of rest, and it's nice. It's a little bit boring, but it's also nice. But I'm finally like really going to dive into the Bible again. And I read it all when I was in college, and I guess I figured since then, like, well, I read it all, so why do I need to keep reading it? But obviously we forget, so that's why we keep reading it. I always love this part where Solomon says, all the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. It's like, what the heck? It is kind of funny. These are the musings of a wise old man. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. And this part's interesting. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. That which has been is what will be. That which is done is what will be done, and there is nothing new under the sun. I would say, on the contrary, the internet is new. But he didn't know about the internet. He says, I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and indeed all is vanity and grasping for the wind. Yeah. Grasping for the wind. I remember my high school English teacher really inspired me, which is partly why I majored in English, and I was thinking about becoming an English teacher, which I still might. But he was saying that, that like what he was like, he would always tell us, what's the whole goal of life? What do your parents tell you your goal is? Get straight A's, so that what? So you can get a good job, so you can make lots of money. And then what? And he would just really make us think a lot. And I remember one day he gave us this really good talk, and he was like, whatever you do for your career, make sure it's something you're passionate about. Don't just do something that makes lots of money. which I'm guessing that's what he did, and that's why he became a teacher. And they always say that they're underpaid, which I guess they are. But that really inspired me, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm going to like do jobs that are fun, that I'm passionate about, and not seek after making money. So I did. Like, most of my jobs have been with kids, and I feel like, I did affect the next generation, and I feel like I was a good friend to a lot of kids that maybe didn't have that at home. Maybe they didn't talk to their parents much, but then, I was their friend. So anyways, or I was a good mentor and role model for them. Okay, this part's really good. In much wisdom is much grief, and he who increases knowledge increases sorrow. Yeah, that's why I don't watch the news, because it's like, really, when it comes to the news, I pretty much say ignorance is bliss. And I pretty much say I have enough drama in my life. I don't need to see the drama in everybody else's life. That's why I don't watch the news. And I never have, and I've never read the news, because I have enough news in my own life that, I don't need to add stress. But, if you are interested in watching the news or reading the news, obviously that can give you more things to pray about. And I pray that you will pray about it and not just, let it stress you out and make you go crazy. Because that would be ideal. But, yeah, so the more we increase in knowledge and wisdom, honestly, the more depressed we get. And that's totally true. If you look at, the smartest people, they're usually the most depressed because, the more we know, the more we're like, wow, this world's really messed up. And that can make you kind of depressed. Which does not mean you need an antidepressant. It means you need to pray more for God to make the world a better place. And then you try and make the world a better place. That's why I make these videos, because I hope that they'll have some kind of a positive effect on the world. This part's kind of funny. For there is a man whose labor is with wisdom, knowledge, and skill, yet he must leave his heritage to a man who has not labored for it. So he's kind of like saying, what's the point of me doing all this work when I'm just going to leave it to a son who maybe won't appreciate it? Another part, he says, he says, who knows whether he will be wise or a fool? Yeah, so with your kids, who knows if they will deal with any accumulated wealth that you have in a wise way, or will they just be foolish about it and spend it, like the prodigal son in that story. And then this part, all his days are sorrowful and his work is burdensome. Even in the night, his heart takes no rest. This also is vanity. Nothing is better for a man than that he should eat and drink, and that his soul should enjoy good in his labor. So, throughout Ecclesiastes, that's a common theme, that he's like, there's really nothing you can do except for enjoy eating and drinking and hope that you enjoy your job, basically. That's what it's like a repetitive theme in this book. So, yeah. And it's true, that is one of the few things that we can enjoy in life is a good meal. That's why people go out to eat, obviously, because it's nice to enjoy a good meal, and it's nice to be full, It's nice to not be hungry sometimes. Then he says, to the sinner he gives the work of gathering and collecting, that he may give to him who is good before God. That's really interesting. Yeah. And then in this whole a time to, I like this part, there is a time to keep and a time to throw away. Amen to that. I've always been really big on throwing stuff away or just getting rid of stuff and not having too much stuff. But I like that. There is definitely a time to throw away. So if you have a bunch of stuff and you don't know what to do with it, there is a time to throw away. Remember that. He says, I know that nothing is better for people than to rejoice and to do good in their lives, and also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of all his labor. This is a gift from God. This part's really interesting. I saw that for all toil and every skillful work a man is envied by his neighbor. Yeah, and I've always noticed that, because I think that's kept me from succeeding in a lot of aspects or areas in my life, because I'm like, well, I don't want people to be jealous of me. So it's kind of easier then to just do nothing, because you don't want people to be jealous of you. But in the end, you'll miss out and you'll regret it if you don't shoot for the stars. And then I like this verse, better a handful with quietness than both hands full together with toil and grasping for the wind. So it's better to be broken at peace than to be rich and have too much toil and grasping for the wind. Yeah. So basically, the sum of Ecclesiastes is don't work too hard. Learn to just enjoy eating and drinking. Don't waste your life with working. Don't be a workaholic, because in the end, you're going to leave it to your kids, and you don't know if they're going to be wise or foolish with all the money you accumulated. So it's kind of like, what's the point? So, yeah, basically the theme of Ecclesiastes is enjoy your life as much as you can, because it's short. And yeah, woot. So I pray this video bless you all, and God loves you. Have a great day.